Hi, this is Muhammad Salman for the course Information Management, and this is my lab 1. So, in lab 1, I have 4 questions to answer. The number 1 being, what are the entities and tables that I have seen in my database? So, let me take you to the entities and tables details. Here are the entities and tables details. Yes. So, sorry for the delay. Here are the entities and tables. So, I have in my uh, n- no blind eye books schema, there are book copy, book genre, book language, book rental, braille rating, client account, individual details. I think IND stands for individual details, client transaction. IND again, I believe, stands for individual details because it is carrying individual details like address, name, phone number, etc., language, and staff. So these are 12 tables entities that I can see in my schema. Now coming to the second question of the lab. Here's the second question. So in the second question, it is asked that what are the two most important tables that I have observed. So let me share again. So I believe book rental and client transaction. These two tables are very important. Let me tell you the reason. I believe the reason being that book rental, let me show you the details so that I can describe in more details. So book rental carries the book ID, copy number of the book, and the transaction ID. So I believe these are very important details because it can tell that what is the book ID that has been rented by the client, and what was the copy number of that book. Similarly, it carries the rental fees and other important dates. So it has book ID, copy number, transaction ID, due date, rental fee, late or loss fee, and return date. I believe the second most important table that I have observed in my view is client transaction. Because client transaction, so previously we had the book rental table which carries the book ID, copy number, and transaction ID. Here, if we have the transaction ID regarding the clients, so we can easily get into the client account ID number, the staff that has handled and helped in renting that book, plus the transaction date and the sales tax applied to uh, if sales tax if any applied to the book while renting. So all the major details I believe these two tables carry. So if we have access to the client transaction and book rental, I believe uh, it can lead to severe security breaches as well, because we would have all the data. I believe we can easily our data breaches can easily happen. So I think these are the most two important tables in my view. Now coming to the third part of the question. Third part says that explain in detail what are the primary and foreign keys. Let me again open uh, for example a book table. So in the book table, we have the primary keys and the foreign keys. So primary keys are basically the unique identifiers. Relational database management systems carry unique identifiers to uniquely identify a complete row. So in this case, the unique identifier, the primary key is book ID. Primary keys are always, I believe, are not null because uh, they allow us to uniquely identify each row. Then comes what are foreign keys. Foreign keys are basically primary keys but in another table, not in that similar table, not in that same particular table. Foreign keys are always referencing to some primary table and always carries the same values of row values as in the primary key. So in this case, in this book, we have a foreign key by the name of book genre code that has been coming from the book genre table, where its name is also book genre code. So here are the details regarding what are primary keys and foreign keys. All right. Now coming to the fourth part and most important part of the lab, that is to create an ER diagram of the database uh, that has been given to us. So these are the details regarding the ERD diagram for the database. All right, let me share them. Sorry for the delay. Mm, yeah, so here it is. Since it's my first time using the the screencast, so I believe yes. So I have to show the one-to-many relationships since there are three relationships that are being used while creating ER diagrams: one-to-many relationship, many-to-many relationship, and one-to-one relationship. So let me first come to the one-to-one relationship. So in the database schema that has been given to us, we have individual details of all the clients and we have a client account details. So each individual must have only one client account. Similarly, one client account, each client account can be associated with only one individual. So here is the perfect example of one-to-one. Now let me move to one-to-many conditions. Since we have books and books can have a copy, books can have a genre, books can have a language, books can have a braille rating because we are renting the books that also carry the braille option so that blind people can also read those books. So each book can have many book copies, but each book copy can only be associated with one book. Therefore, this is a prime example of one-to-many. Now, only one example is left. I think two. The one is many-to-many. So since we have a rental system and client account from one client, each client account can rent many books as he likes or as they are available by the system. Similarly, each book can be rented by many clients, many client accounts. Therefore, we have used the many-to-many relationship between the books and the client accounts. Since we have many-to-many relationship, ERD diagram allows us to use intersection data among them. So I believe due date and rental fee will be the two attributes that would come in the intersection data. When we will move into the RDBMS, we have to create one separate table as well to have unique rows for each book and each client renting that book. The last point that we have is the recursive relationship. So when it comes to the staff in the scheme in the database tables, we have individual ID, that is only one staff, and the supervisor ID. So we can say as we have seen in the data that one supervisor can manage many staff members, but one staff member is only being supervised by one mentor, one supervisor. Therefore, here we have a recursive relationship. Let me get back to the questions that we have to see if they are completed. I believe I've been able to explain in detail all the four questions. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Have a good day.